Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are continuing my Declutter series by going through my eyeshadow palettes. Yep, this is gonna take a while. Okay, so this is literally, with the exception of individual like Z palette eyeshadow palettes, these are all my eyeshadow palettes. They're stacked all the way to the end of my desk. So they go all the way. On the other side of that Lorac palette, there's still some. This to here. So we have a lot to go through. Not a lot of time. Okay, let's just jump in. I had them organized by brand, but that just kind of died. I'm gonna try and get rid of I'm shooting for about a third, to get rid of about a third of these, but I doubt that that's gonna happen. So let's do this. First one right here in front of me is a BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Club Tropicana 28 color foil eyeshadow palette. I just recently got this, and it was part of their summer collection. I just recently bought it, so I'm not going to part with it yet because I do want to try it out. I think I only swatched just this shade here, the yellow, because I was bored. It's quite pigmented. I just literally tapped it like that and I got that. That's intense. But yeah, I do want to try this out. Come up with some kind of look for it. I do kind of like the palm trees on here though. Very cool. So that will stay. Palettes I plan to keep will just start stacking back here. Also going to stay is this, which is the 28 Foil Eyes Color Shadow Palette from BH Cosmetics. Strangely, all the BH Cosmetics ones ended up here in this pile. Okay, great. Keeping that one for sure. The BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette, well, somewhere in this pile of palettes, I actually have the new one, which contains all the shades that were in this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this, since I'm going to hold on to the bigger one once I find that. Next, I have this. This is the Cool Stone Marble Collection, which looks like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and pass on this because I haven't touched it and I've had it for a few months and I haven't even been tempted to open it. So I'm just going to goodbye. This one I'm also going to get rid of. This is the Silver Strike Eye and Cheek palette. This actually came to me broken. The blush at least came broken. Hola. But I just don't reach for it, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on. This is also new to my collection. This is the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, which just kind of seems like a nice, good to have matte rainbow color palette. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this guy too. Well, right here, right now, I've cut BH Cosmetics in half. That's a good start. On to this one, which I think I got in a FabFitFun box. This is the Real Her Shadow Palette in Do Your Squats. It's a very nice, pretty natural palette, but I have so many natural palettes, I won't even reach for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. Next is this. This is the Makeup Revolution Mermaids Forever palette. If I can open it. There we go. I've used it, I think, once or twice. But again, I just don't reach for it, and I have a lot of these in individual single shadows, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass this along. Next is this guy. This is the Cargo Around the World palette. This, I believe, came in a BoxyCharm or something. Very nice neutral palette. I think I've used it once. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it because I just don't reach for it, and again, I've got so many natural palettes I like. I don't need this one. Next is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. I don't have the desert one. I don't even know why I'm bothering to open this, but I think I'm going to hold on to this one actually because I do like the matte shades in here. I'm iffy on some of the, I tried so hard to make that Trust Fund shade, the copper one up here that's like bent to hell. Tried to make that work so many times, but I kind of damaged it a little, but I'm going to keep it because I do like the matte shades, especially in here. Next is this. This is the NYX Avant Pop palette in Nouveau Chic, which I don't think I've even touched. So I'm going to go ahead and pass because I think, again, I have all of these in an individual shade of some kind or something similar, so it's going to go away. Doing good. I'm doing good so far. Next is this, which is brand new, so I'm going to keep this. Is the Laura Geller Iconic New York collection. This is the Downtown palette. There's an uptown and a downtown. Definitely keeping this. It's just a gorgeous, you can't even call it warm or cool tone because you've got the gold and the yellow. I like it. and I haven't tried it, so I'm gonna use it. You hear that? I'm keeping it. Next, I have this, and I'm definitely keeping this because it is an amazing palette. This is the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. I will link my review of this palette in the upper right-hand corner. This really is, I'm trying to hold this so it doesn't reflect all over the place. This really is an amazing palette, and I like it a lot. Getting a lot of use this coming this fall, so definitely holding on to that. Next, I have the Pure Soiree Diaries palette, which I just got. So I think I do want to try it just because I haven't tried Pure Shadows before. So I want to try this out, but then after that I'll probably decide whether or not to keep it, because again, I do have these shades, but if I'm really blown away by it for some reason, I'll be keeping it. Also from Pure Cosmetics, I do have the My Little Pony movie palette, which I've never been a My Little Pony person, but colorful palettes, just there's something about them that I gotta catch them all like Pokemon. So I am gonna hold on to this because this is a really unique palette in my opinion. There's just a lot of things you can do with this, and it would pair well with their nude palette, so we shall see. Next, I have this, the Pastel Goth from Kat Von D. I really do like this palette, and I think I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I really do like it. You can still buy this, I believe. I don't think it was limited edition. I think it's a permanent thing, so hopefully you can still buy it. Next is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. You know, I hate to say it, but I think this is gonna go in the maybe pile because I'm leaning towards getting rid of it, but I don't know if I want to part with it just yet, so I don't know. Let's see. It'll just chill here. And then I have this big bad boy, the Metal Map palette, which was the holiday palette last year or the year before. I don't even remember. I can't even fit this all in frame, I think. Oh wait, there we go. There we go. I am keeping this bad boy. It's amazing palette. I think these are great quality. And the shade Tinsel, just, yes. I know you can't buy this anymore. Sometimes it does pop up on eBay and Glambot, so if you ever see it, get your hands on it. It really was a fantastic palette. I probably won't be using it on camera very much though, since it was limited edition. Next, I have this guy. This is the Studio Makeup on the Go palette. This is, I believe, the Cool Toned one. Yep, Cool Toned. I'm going to go ahead and pass on this. I just don't reach for it. And I've had it long enough that I can say at this point, if I haven't touched it yet, it can go home. Goes to a new home. I have this, which I am definitely keeping. This is the Dose of Colors Katie and Desi palette in the Girls. I've done some serious damage to, I think it's Suze and Turboson. I think those are the right shades. Nope, Noli and Turboson. Dang it, Noli and Turboson. I can't remember which one's Noli and which one's Suze. But yeah, definitely done some damage to those, and the packaging is perfect, so that's not going anywhere. This is a recent addition to my collection. This is the Persona Identity palette. I really want to try it out because this was, you know, this is the only product, so I'm definitely keeping this to try it out. I'm like playing Jenga over here with the palettes. This could end really badly. We're about a third of the way. I'm doing pretty good though. I've tossed quite a few. Okay, next we've got some ColourPop palettes. Let's get these bad boys over with. This is the ColourPop I Think I Love You palette, which I just got. I'm going to keep this because it's brand new. I'm probably going to be keeping all of these ColourPop ones I'm about to mention, but you know, just for sake. This is the Femme Rosa Carouche palette. Keeping this. And the Cute AF palette. Haha, I think it's called something else though. It's called Yes Please. Yeah, I always think that it's the one on the front, but it's actually the one back. So this is the Yes Please palette. I still haven't tried this. Everyone's been talking about this. I haven't tried it quite yet. I have two of the ColourPop I Love Sarai ColourPop palettes. This one's in the shade Saucy, so I'm just going to be depotting these because I am going to keep them, but they're going to get separated. This one's in the shade Shiki. I'm assuming it's not Shishi, it's Shiki. You know, whatever. I have this one from BH Cosmetics, which is called the Afternoon Rendezvous palette. I think this one, I'm just going to go ahead and pass on. I think it was just some random thing that they added on to my order. Like I spent $20 or whatever, so they gave me that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass on it. Next, I'm not gonna open these on camera because this could take like 10 minutes, but these are the Sephora Pro palettes. I have the Warm, Cool, and Editorial palettes. I am keeping all 3 of these because I think they're amazing palettes, but they're not going anywhere. Next, I also have 2 Morphe palettes, which I only hold on to for when someone asks for a Morphe tutorial. It's the 35OS and the 35OM palettes, but to be honest, I don't really reach for them, but I hold on to them for the sake of having them for potential videos. I don't really use them in my personal life. Okay, guys. Next, I have 2 palettes from the Balm, the Meat Matte Nude and the Meat Matrimony. I have had these for so freaking long, like 2 years now. Oops. And every time I do one of these videos, I tell myself, okay, if I still have these by the time I do the next video and I haven't used them yet, I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm getting rid of them. They're going away because I just don't reach for them. They're tiny and they get hidden among all the Urban Decay and all those other palettes. So these are fantastic palettes. Like I've used them once each, but I just can't grab them enough. So goodbye. Next, my babies. These are the Makeup Forever 9 Artist Shadow Palettes. This one's number 4, I believe, which is all mattes. I'm definitely keeping this. It's a gorgeous palette. Love that. And then this one is number 1, I believe. Yep. Look at all the loving this thing has had. I'm not parting with this. This is one of my favorite high-end palettes of all time. I am keeping him. You can still buy number 1. I'm not quite sure about the number 4 palette, but number 1 is always available. Next, I have this. This is the Stila Eyes Are the Window Shadow Palette in Spirit. I bought this palette for that shade right there, the cranberry. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on because I never use this. Never. Goodbye. Oh, I found my Carli Bybel palette. Here it is. So this is the one I'm going to keep. It's the brand new one, the Deluxe edition. Let's move on to these right here. This first one is the Tarte Clay, what is this called? Clay Play Face Shaping Palette. Mirror is cracked in mine. Totally busted. To be honest, I'm not really that impressed with this palette. The contour shades are way too much for me, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass this on to someone else because I don't reach for it. Heartlit and Bloom palette, which of course looks like this, which I haven't touched. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass, to be honest. However, I will keep this guy, the original Tartelette palette. I do like this one a lot, so I am going to go ahead and keep him. I'm trying to film things. You can't sit here. You're a weird little cat. Okay. I have the Tartiste Pro palette, which I do love. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this guy for sure. Next, I have both of the Dose of Colors Baked Browns and Marvelous Mauves. I just got these recently, so I haven't had a chance to use them yet. So I am going to hold on to these. Okay, I've got to back this up a little bit because I feel like I'm really close. Okay, next I have 3 Violet Voss palettes. I have the Matte About You palette, which I'm going to keep. These I haven't used yet, so I will be keeping them. I have the Holy Grail palette, which I've used one shade once. And then I have the Violet Voss and Nicole Concealio Pro palette, which, to be honest, gives me strong Jaclyn Hill palette vibes. Not that I own that one, but you know, just saying. Let's do this. This is brand new. I haven't used it yet. This is the LA Girl Neons palette. Which looks like this. I'm going to hold on to it since I just got it. And I also just recently got this. This is the Kylie Jenner, I think it's the Peach palette. I don't remember which one it is. It's the Royal Peach palette. I think that's what it was called. Just got this, so I'm going to hold on to it. Let's start going into these just because I've got quite a few and I will be keeping all of these for sure. First is the Juvia's Place Magic palette. This was the most recent one, I believe. Let me pop it open for y'all. Gorgeous palette. Haven't had a chance to really play with it properly, so keeping that. I am also keeping, I'm not going to open these, the Masquerade palette. This one I will open. The Nubia 2 palette. The Nubian palette, which is the original. The Saharan palette, which is gorgeous as well. Love that palette. And then last but not least from Juvia's Place, the Zulu palette. I have a really cool idea for a fall makeup tutorial using this, so I'll see if I can make it happen. Next, I have 4 of the new NYX Element palettes. I'm sure you guys have seen pictures all over the internet. I have the Wind palette, Water, Fire, and Earth, which is my zodiac element, so I felt like I had to get it. You know, I'm gonna try and avoid opening these unless they were limited edition palettes, just because I don't have time. It will be here for years if I open all of these for you guys. I'm sorry. This one I will open. This was limited edition. This is the Urban Decay Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. I won't get rid of this. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I like it a lot, and it's kind of cute and different, and I'm gonna keep him. Just gonna move this back a bit because now I've got a lot more space. I am also holding on to this, which is the Full Spectrum palette, which was also limited edition from Urban Decay. Here's a rainbow. See? So pretty. Also limited edition from Urban Decay. Well, not Urban Edition, but it's been Urban Edition. Not limited edition, but this has been discontinued. This is the Electric palette. I've used it a handful of times. I hold on to it just for the diversity of the colors in there, so you know. Then there's the Naked Heat palette. Gorgeous palette. Love that palette. I am keeping it. The Naked Smoky palette, which to be honest, I bought when it was $27, so I'm probably not going to get rid of it, but probably should. Okay, I have the original Naked palette, keeping that obviously. And this guy, which I will not get rid of due to sentimental reasons. This was actually the first high-end palette I ever got as a gift. My mom bought it for me. The year it came out, I asked for it because this is supposed to be the perfect palette for blue eyes, whatever that means. So yeah, not parting with this guy anytime soon. On to Too Faced. First up, the brand new Just Peachy Mattes. I'm in love with this. The scent is a little intense, but I do love the palette, so I am gonna keep this, obviously. This I'm gonna get rid of. This is the Eggnog Latte book from last holiday. I just don't reach for it. I'm not doing as well at decluttering these palettes, am I, guys? I thought I was doing really good. Dang. And then I have the original chocolate bar. I have the original Chocolate Bar palette, which is one of my favorite palettes of all time, so I'm keeping that for sure. I also still have the Semi-Sweet, which I've made quite a dent in pink sugar of all things, but keeping this. I no longer have the Bonbons palette, but I do have the Sweet Peach palette, which I do love, so I will be keeping the Sweet Peach palette as well. Moving on to Anastasia Beverly Hills. First up, the Master palette by Mario, which looks like this. I kind of am tempted to get rid of this. I just don't reach for this, and while I do think it's a pretty palette and it's a very, you know, staple, easy to use daily palette, I just don't reach for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Only because I know I'm keeping the rest of them. So this is the Modern Renaissance palette. Mine has been well loved. And also the Subculture palette, which I'm keeping as well. I actually really like this palette. People hate it for so many reasons. I don't hate it. I like it a lot actually, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. Also from Anastasia, which I just got in the mail yesterday, the Prism palette is here and I'm excited. So this is what it looks like. I'm planning on doing a full video dedicated to this pretty soon. Probably I'll film it tomorrow. But yeah, I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. So for some reason in this light, these look like the same shade. Sphinx and Eternal. This one's actually very brown. This one's very copper. But this yellow light is not helping things. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that out for sure. And my last subgroup, The Rock. Okay. First up, Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette. This is my go-to neutral palette. I will not be getting rid of this because I love this. I did, I think, 4 looks last fall when this was released. I am planning on buying the Pro 4 palette, so I'll probably be doing the same thing with that. Next, I have the Unzipped Gold palette, which I haven't touched. So I think I'm just gonna get, well, you know what? I will tell myself I can keep either the gold or the original Unzipped. I can't believe, well, I'm gonna get rid of the original Unzipped and keep the gold. There's so many Lorac palettes. Ooh, this one I'm getting rid of. The Lorac Pro Ladies Who Brunch palette. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I used it a couple times and I like the formula and I like the palette, but I just don't reach for it. Next, I have the Lorac Pro 3 palette, another staple basic palette for me. Definitely not parting with this. And I also have the original Lorac palette, and I'm gonna keep this one as well. Last but not least, I have the 3 brand new palettes from Lorac. So I have the Desert Sun, Ocean Sunset, and Mountain Sunset. I'm not getting rid of any of those. So I've come full circle back. I am gonna get rid of the shade Light Eye palette since I held on to the holiday ones for Kat Von D, and as you can see, I have a lot of natural ones. And to be honest, I don't usually use all matte palettes. So I think I am just gonna get rid of this guy. So bye-bye Shade and Light. Okay, I did not do very good. I was expecting to get rid of a lot more. I did not do very good. I think I only got rid of about 15 or so palettes out of what seems like about 50 that I have left here. So, not the best. I did cut out quite a few though. I mean, I definitely trimmed some weight. And there's a lot of these where because they're new, I can't get rid of them yet. So I have to try them, and then once I know I do or don't like them, then make a decision. So maybe in the future they will be gone, but who knows. Please tell me what you guys are wanting to see. I know a while ago somebody asked if I would do one with this Alice in Wonderland palette. I would love to, but just because it's limited edition, I feel weird using it on camera. I mean, if enough people want to see one, I'd be happy to do one, but since it's not available anymore, you can't get your hands on it. So, yeah. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.